He didn't even want to talk about it anymore. The topic was always avoided at the dinner table, at family gatherings, even in the quiet moments when no one was around, because deep down he felt it. That creeping sensation that something inside him was gone. The spark, the confidence, the energy that used to hum in his veins like electricity when he was younger. He was 64, and he couldn't remember the last time he woke up with that feeling of being fully alive. The kind of morning where your body tells you you're still a man, not just existing but ready. Ready to move, ready to feel, ready to connect. Instead, he woke up stiff. Not that kind of stiff, the wrong kind. Back pain, cold hands. A dullness in his lower body that scared him more than he wanted to admit. He didn't tell his wife, didn't tell his doctor, he just blamed age, like every other man does. But when he looked in the mirror that week, something broke. It wasn't his body that scared him. It was the emptiness behind his own eyes. He didn't look tired. He looked forgotten. So that night he did something he hadn't done in years. He opened his laptop and typed, "How to feel like a man again after 60,000 of answers." Thousands of lies, pills, shots, sketchy ads with men in white coats, but buried halfway down a forum with no likes. No flashy images, just text. He found it. A man older than him, who swore by a single natural oil applied not there, but on the lower back where the body's root energy centers lie. Ancient Chinese medicine meets modern circulation science. The post said this: 3 nights. Just 3. And I felt like a damn bull again. No sales pitch, no links. Just an honest post by a guy with nothing to prove. It was so strange it had to be real. He had nothing to lose, so he ordered the oil. Just $7 on a site that looked like it hadn't been updated since 2004. And when it arrived in a little brown bottle, he stared at it like it held some secret. That night, with trembling hands, he warmed a few drops between his palms, rolled up his shirt and massaged the oil into the base of his spine. It felt cold at first, then hot, then awake. He went to bed. Didn't expect anything, but in the morning, he felt a tingle in his hands, warmth in his feet, and a stirring where he hadn't felt much of anything in months. It was subtle, but real, so he did it again. And again, by the 3rd night, he wasn't just feeling something. He was feeling everything. And his wife? She noticed she didn't say a word. She didn't need to. Her eyes said it all. The man she married, the one she hadn't seen in years, was back. He sat on the edge of the bed in silence, staring at the cold floor like it held the answer to a question he was too tired to ask. His hands trembled not because of fear, but because of something worse: disconnection. From his body, from himself, from the man he used to be. 64 years old, and for the first time he felt invisible. Not to others, but to himself. His reflection had become a stranger, his movements slower, his breathing shallower, and the mornings, The mornings were the worst. Waking up without desire, without energy, without any trace of that primal fire that once burned so effortlessly through him. It was like waking up inside someone else's life. He missed the feeling of walking tall. He missed that quiet surge of power that lived somewhere just beneath his skin. The kind of confidence that made him feel unshakable. He hadn't realized how much it meant until it was gone. And when it left, it didn't slam the door. It slipped out silently, piece by piece. A little less drive here, a little more stiffness there. And slowly the silence between who he was and who he had become grew deafening. He never told anyone. That would have made it real. So he smiled when people asked how retirement was going. He nodded when his grandkids called him strong old grandpa. And he avoided the look in his wife's eyes at night when they both knew nothing would happen. Not because they didn't love each other, but because the connection had faded. Like a light left on too long, now flickering. That night, he lay in bed, unable to sleep. The ache in his lower back wasn't just physical, it was emotional. A reminder that something at the core of him had gone dormant. So he got up, opened his laptop, and typed something he never imagined himself typing: "How to feel like a man again after 60. The screen lit up with promises. Blue pills, red pills, strange devices, clinics with young men in white coats who smiled too hard. None of it felt right. It all felt like noise. Until he found one post hidden in an old forum, buried between outdated threads and forgotten usernames. It didn't sell anything. It didn't scream, it just whispered. A man older than him wrote, "I thought I was done. Then I tried this oil, rubbed it into my lower back every night. 3 nights, that's all. I don't know what happened, but I woke up feeling like I had lightning in my spine. That was it. No link, no photos, just words." And something in his gut told him it was real. Real because it wasn't trying to be. So he found the oil. Some kind of blend of herbs and warm essences used in ancient medicine for circulation and root energy. He ordered it. Didn't tell his wife. didn't expect much. When it arrived, he held the small brown bottle like it contained a secret older than him. That night, he rubbed it into his lower back slowly, feeling the cold oil warm against his skin. At first, nothing. But then heat, a slow throb, a pulse. Not arousal, not yet, but awareness. As if his body was remembering something. A language it hadn't spoken in years. The next morning he felt different. Not powerful, not young. Just present. His hands were warmer, his breath deeper. He walked to the bathroom and caught a glimpse of himself. And for the first time in a long time, he didn't look away. He tried it again the next night. And the next by the third night, something shifted. He didn't just feel a pulse, he felt power. Real, raw, unmistakable. That morning he woke up already hard. No reason, no dream. Just life rushing back through him like a tide that had finally returned. He laughed. A real belly-deep laugh that startled even him. His wife heard. She stepped into the room and looked at him and for a second. Her eyes widened. She didn't say a word, but the way she smiled, it said everything. She saw it, the change, the return. That night they didn't sleep right away. They talked, touched, rediscovered each other, and he realized the body forgets, but it also remembers. Sometimes all it needs is a spark, just one. The oil hadn't just worked, it had awakened something he thought was dead. Not lust, not just testosterone, but identity. He was back, not young, but alive, and maybe that was more powerful than youth itself. Have you ever felt like something inside you just shut off, and no one noticed? Maybe you didn't even notice at first. It starts subtly. You forget what it's like to wake up with fire in your chest. You stop expecting anything from your body, and you begin to accept things you would have fought against just a few years ago. That slow decline. It's not just physical, it's emotional. And if you've ever looked at yourself in the mirror and wondered where the man you used to be has gone, then you are not alone. In fact, I want to know, have you ever experienced something like that? A moment where you felt your body was no longer yours? If this story resonates with you, write in the comments. Don't hold it in. You're not alone. This space is for you. And if you're here, still watching, it means something in you is still awake, still curious, still alive. So subscribe to this channel. Not because of algorithms or trends, but because this conversation is just beginning. And your story deserves to be heard too. Now, let's go deeper. Because what happened to him wasn't magic. It wasn't a miracle. It was biology ignored by most of modern medicine, but deeply understood by ancient traditions. The lower back, especially in men, holds more than just tension. In Eastern medicine, it's called the gate of life, the place where core energy, or DJing as the Chinese call it, is stored. It's believed that when this area weakens, so does your vitality, your motivation, even your masculinity. And when it's stimulated, massaged, or nourished, everything changes. The oil he used wasn't random. It was a blend of natural essences that target this specific region. Ginger for warmth, cistanche for circulation, ashwagandha for hormonal balance, a touch of cinnamon oil to stimulate flow. When rubbed into the lower back, especially around the sacrum and lumbar spine, it doesn't just relieve pain. It wakes up nerves. It reminds your blood to move. It tells your body, I'm here, let's get going again. But it's not just the oil, it's the act itself, the routine, the signal. Because as men age, they stop touching their bodies. With intention, they treat themselves like machines that slowly rust and break. But a machine doesn't feel shame, a man does. And the longer you live with shame about your aging body, the harder it becomes to reconnect with the power inside. That's why something as simple as applying an oil can trigger something profound. It's not the oil alone, it's the message it sends. You matter, you still can, you are still in here. He told me that after the third night, something strange happened. It wasn't just physical, it was emotional. As he lay in bed, he felt something stern just below the waist. But in his mind, he remembered things. Times when he felt strong, desired, alive. Memories he had locked away because he thought they no longer belonged to him. And suddenly, he didn't just feel the blood returning to his limbs. He felt himself returning to his life. You see, our culture tells men to stay quiet, to age silently, to disappear with dignity. But screw that. Dignity isn't about fading, it's about standing tall, even when the world wants you to shrink. It's about reclaiming your fire. And sometimes, that starts with something as simple as a warm oil on your back. Something that whispers you're not done yet. The body remembers, the body forgives. And if you give it a reason, it will fight for you again. He didn't need a blue pill. He didn't need surgery. He needed to remember himself. And now, maybe you do too. Because here's the truth. You were never meant to lose your power. It was taken from you by stress, by bad habits, by years of being told to ignore your needs. But nature didn't design you to fail. Nature gave you tools, and one of those tools is right there, behind you, waiting to be reawakened. The spine is not just structured, it's energy. It's your backbone in every sense of the word. And when you nourish it, you nourish everything. Your posture, your breath, your courage, your fire. And if no one ever told you this before, hear it now. Your body still loves you. It's waiting for you to come back to it. So tonight, when the house is quiet and no one's watching, take a moment. Warm your hands. Feel your back. Remember who you are. Then rub that oil not just as a treatment, but as a declaration. I'm not done. I'm still here. And I will rise again. Because sometimes it's not a giant leap that changes everything. Sometimes it's just one touch, one night, one decision to believe again. And from that decision came a ripple. He started sleeping better, breathing deeper, laughing again. It wasn't an overnight transformation, but it was real. That's the part most people miss. It's not about finding a miracle cure. It's about finding a reason to reconnect. He stopped seeing his body as something broken and started treating it like something sacred. With that came habits, simple, consistent habits, stretching his spine in the morning, drinking warm lemon water to flush his system, swapping his late-night news binge for a calming routine of breathing and self-massage. None of this was drastic. None of it cost hundreds of dollars. But every small action told his nervous system, I'm safe. I'm alive. I'm ready. And day by day, the blood started flowing stronger. The nights grew warmer. And the man who thought his best days were behind him began to feel something ancient and powerful return. A force that had always been there, just waiting for his touch. And if you've ever felt like your body was betraying you, like your strength was slipping away no matter what you tried, then hear me out. It's a silent cycle that millions of men fall into after 50. A cycle of stress, inflammation, poor circulation, and worst of all, emotional shutdown. When your body doesn't respond the way it used to, your brain starts pulling back. You stop taking risks. You stop feeling desire. Drops of oil and 3 nights of care didn't stop there. And what he found shocked him. Low blood flow to the lower spine and pelvic region is now recognized by several emerging studies as a major culprit in male performance issues, not just in the bedroom, but in energy, confidence, and drive. Your lower back isn't just your support system. Flow. Why? Years of sitting. Chronic inflammation. The body is waiting to be activated again. That's all. Put on soft music, warm his hands, focus his breath. He'd rub the oil in slow circles into his lower back, just above the tailbone, visualizing the blood returning, the fire reawakening. He'd breathe deeply in through the nose, out through the mouth, and slowly he felt himself return. Within weeks, everything shifted. His sleep improved, his morning stiffness vanished, his confidence in intimate moments came back like a rising tide. Was the way he carried himself. Men think they need a supplement, a pill, a surgery. But what they really need is to stop abandoning themselves to return, to reconnect. And it can start with the simplest gesture, like rubbing an oil that reminds your blood to flow and your body to remember who you are. This isn't about vanity. It's not about pretending to be young again. It's about honoring the man you've become, the body that's carried you, the fire that's not gone, it's just waiting to be touched again. Touched with care, with courage, with curiosity. And if you're still reading this, then that means something inside you knows it's not too late, not by a long shot. Tonight, give your body that signal, that sign, that moment. Say that silent promise. I'm coming back. Because once you do, everything changes. And you know what's even more powerful than any oil, any trick, or any breath? It's the decision to stop giving up on yourself. That man, he didn't change because someone told him to. He changed because one night he looked at himself in the mirror and whispered, I miss you. Not the body of 25, not the wild energy of youth, but the version of himself that felt alive. That moved through the world with quiet strength and a fire in the eyes. That man still existed, buried beneath responsibilities, exhaustion, and shame, but alive, waiting, and maybe. That's you right now. Maybe you've pushed this part of yourself down for so long you forgot he even existed. You learned to live without that energy, without that confidence, without that spark. You told yourself this is just what aging looks like. But let me tell you the truth. Aging does not mean disappearance. It doesn't mean silence. It doesn't mean surrender. Aging is simply a new version of power, and it starts the moment you choose to reconnect. He chose something small, a gesture, a ritual, a cup of warm water before bed, a breath of lavender oil, a few slow rubs along the lower spine with fingers that once trembled but began to steady. He chose consistency. He chose care. And night after night, that choice whispered to his nervous system, you're safe. You're wanted. You're whole. And that whisper grew louder. into mornings of stronger steps, into deeper sleep, into quiet moments of intimacy where he no longer felt shame, but strength, into a heart that beat not in fear, but in anticipation. So now the choice is yours. You can scroll away, or you can pause right here and listen to what your body's asking for. You know what it is: a second chance, a reawakening, not to be younger, but to be more you than ever before. If you felt something stir inside you while listening, that's not random. That's memory. That's your body remembering its blueprint, and it's not gone, not broken, not too late, just ignored. Tonight, you can give yourself back that moment. Run warm water, rub the oil, breathe deeply, say nothing, feel everything. And when you're ready to walk in this new skin with strength, presence, and peace, come back here. We'll keep walking with you. If this message touched you, let us know in the comments. You're not alone in this. Thousands of men are on this path, too, and many started with just a simple video like this. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't, because this is just the beginning of a new chapter. We'll talk about food, breath, movement, hormones, love, and how to return day by day to the man you were always meant to be. You're not broken, you're becoming.